Hey, how's everyone going? My name is Veras, and today I'm just gonna speak to you guys about just a quick. I don't want to call it a sermon or anything like that. Just like a quick message. The reason why I was probably picked to speak this message is as for those who may or may not know, there's two things that define me now, and it's my weight loss journey and how many hours I fast during the day. And then we're gonna go into it a little further. But first off, like the little message I want to give today is called the root cause. The root cause, and the reason why I speak about the root cause is because many issues that we confront today, or many solutions that we think are, are available to us today, doesn't really solve the root cause. It doesn't attack the problem at the root. Instead, it attacks the end result of the problem. And we can go all about this, but really, and the basically little short summary of what I'm about to say. Self-control is the main solution, or we could call it the pesticide or the weed killer. What really attacks the root cause of many of the problems that society faces today. And this is, I'm going to share two verses that is written in the Bible. In Proverbs 25:28, I'm going to read it right here. It says, "A man without self-control is a city broken into, left without walls." I apologize to those who think walls is xenophobic or racist. This is the Bible saying it, not me. I know in 2020 a lot of people don't want to speak about walls. And then here's the other verse. I don't want to go into that, but here's the other verse, 2 Timothy 1:7. This one's the most important one. I have this written almost everywhere. It says, "For God gave us a spirit not of fear, but of power, love," and the most important words here is "and self-control." The two key things about these two verses is that it speaks about self-control, right? So let's talk about self-control, really. Self-control is something that it was a quality that I believe every person who believes in God and believes in God's word should have. And a lot of people who don't have this. So first of all, if you don't have self-control, already God didn't give you that spirit. Because God, it says here in the Bible, God gives us a spirit of power, love, and self-control. God isn't the type of guy that says, "Yo, you know what? I'm going to give you 2 out of the 3 things." He's going to give you the whole thing. So if you don't have it, then obviously there's something you have to work. There's like a kink that you have to work out between you and the big man, right? So, for example, we can keep going, right? So let's talk about self-control, right? I'm going to list out a couple things about self-control or the lack of self-control that may cause issues that we see every day. Let's start with the first one here that I wrote down. It's called weight gain, right? A lot of people, when it comes to weight, I'm very passionate about weight and fitness. When it comes to weight gain, a lot of people want to focus the issue on, I gained weight because of my kids. I gained weight because of I don't have healthy choices to eat from. I gained weight because of my hormones. I gained weight because of, depression or stress, or I just don't have the time to work out, or my life can't consist of a life of fitness, or I was never taught this, or I was never done that, right? That's one thing. Another one that I wrote is financial ruin, right? A lot of the reasons, or a lot of the people who go into debt is because they don't know how to manage. They don't know how to manage debt. They don't know how to manage a credit card account. They don't know how to manage their bi-weekly paychecks. They don't know how to, save. because they just don't have any self-control of what they spend, right? Marital problems, right? We can go back and forth with marital problems. I've been married for 2 years now, right? A lot of the issues that we see in marital problems is because either one spouse or the other or both just don't have self-control. A lot of the cheating happens is because one spouse didn't have self-control and decided to step out of the relationship. A lot of the stress, a lot of the issues, a lot of the emotional strain in a marriage is because certain people just don't have self-control. Certain spouses just don't have self-control over their emotions, don't have self-control over the things that they say, don't have self-control over, their actions in the marriage. This causes a lot of strain. You keep going on. Anger management, self-control over your emotion. Depression. This is caused by self-control. Depression is a wide thing, but in reality, what causes depression is a chain of effects. It's not just one day you're on top of the world and the next day you're just sad because, whatever. Depression is caused by a chain of events and the choice of options that, leads you to depression. Depression, like we said, this is all just the end result of not having self-control. This is not, this is the result, right? Lack of motivation, self-control, right? So we're going to break it down right now. All right, let's break down what we just said. In society, we see many cures, like I said in the beginning, but a lot of the cures aren't exactly cures. They're what we call maybe, for those who produce music, a compressor or a limiter, something that keeps, the problem from overflowing to a point where it's just not controllable anymore. One of the things that I wrote down, again, weight is my big thing. A lot of people thought that I went through this procedure, and I told them, no, absolutely not. I guess it just goes to show where I've been and where I am now. But like gastric bypass, I don't believe in gastric bypass. There's many people who see this video that have gone through gastric bypass and it works for them. The majority of people who do go through this process, they lose the weight. I'm not saying gastric bypass isn't effective in terms of losing the weight. What I'm saying is that gastric bypass only affects the end result. The end result of something is your weight gain. So, sure, listen, if you're obese, overweight, you take a gastric, you go through the procedure, you're gonna lose a ton of weight. But many people who do go through this process end up shooting back up. Why? Because this doesn't attack the root cause of the issue. What attacks the root cause of the issue is self-control, right? So, what caused the weight gain? Was it not being able to tell your mind you're not eating this anymore? Not being able to tell your mind or your body you're gonna work out today? Not being able to tell your mind and your body you're gonna wake up early to do this certain workout, you're gonna eat certain things, you can't eat past a certain hour. When you don't have these in check, when you don't have self-control over this, weight gain happens. So weight gain is the end result, right? We'll keep going. Prescription pills, right? A lot of the diseases that are nowadays is the pills that are given you. A lot of them do cure the minor disease, like let's say a bacterial infection, right? You get antibiotics, it'll be cured, right? Self-control can't cure a bacterial infection, obviously. But there are a bunch of diseases that, unfortunately, due to the lack of self-control, what these pills can do for you is try to manage diabetes. No self-control during eating, no self-control during motivation or workout. Weight gain, your pancreas shuts down. Now you have to take metformin. Now you have to inject yourself with insulin because your pancreas isn't working. And unfortunately, these are things that you're gonna have to drag this insulin injection, this metformin for the rest of your life. And these things don't solve the issue. They don't solve the problem. They only manage it. You keep going, viruses. You know, if you have a cold, right? The medicine that you take for the cold, it doesn't cure the cold, it just manages the symptoms. What cures the cold is your immune system fighting within you, fighting the root cause in order to get the disease, to get the body to get rid of the disease, right? But these medicines, they're not, oh, I'm gonna take this NyQuil and I feel amazing. No, what NyQuil does is suppress the symptoms, and it causes you to get a little sleepy, because, you know, they know if you're sleeping, the body can focus more on fighting the virus. When you're awake and stuff, your immune system not only has to fight, you know, outside things, but inside things. Your body's working a lot. It's more strained. It's working a lot harder. When you sleep, like it helps you. A good night's sleep could do a lot for you, right? We're going to talk about now the power of self-control. The power of self-control. The Bible speaks about self-control because this is the permanent solution to the root causes of many problems that we see in society, in churches, in workplaces, in schools. When there is no self-control, when you aren't able to tell the mind, to tell yourself, you're going to do this or you're not going to do this, you start to get convinced, or you start to get brainwashed into believing that there's a certain level you won't be able to reach, there's a certain promotion in your job you won't be able to reach, there's a certain weight goal that you won't be able to reach, there's a certain, you know, relationship that you won't be able to fix, there's certain ministry that you want that you won't be able to get. In reality, God is trying to teach us that we need to be mentally strong. We need to be mentally, we mentally need to be able to tell ourselves, we're going to do this and we're not going to do this. We're going to do this and we're not going to fall into temptation. We're going to follow God and we're not going to do this. We're going to do this, we're not going to sin, we're not going to drink, we're not going to smoke, we're not going to do this, we're not going to do that. Right? That requires willpower. That requires self-control. When you're in the face of temptation, do you have the strength to tell yourself, I'm not going down that road? Or are you so weak mentally that when temptation arises, you have no self-control, you have no willpower, you have no strength, that you just fall and you keep falling again and again and again and again? The power of self-control is not only to fight temptation, but it is also to help you in your everyday life. The power of self-control is so powerful that you can see, when you apply it to other things, other aspects in your life, you can see changes. For people who know me, I run 6 days a week, and I run no less than 10 miles every day, right? If you had told me 2 years ago, Dione, you're gonna go from 217 to 135, and you're gonna run 10 miles 6 days a week, or 10 to 15 miles 6 days a week, and you're gonna fast 18 to 21 hours every day, I look at you like, yo, you're crazy. You're crazy. But look where I am now. You know, I'm not trying to, pat myself in the back. This is all because of self-control. All because of self-control. The Bible says in the face of temptation, we gotta fast. I fast for 18 to 21 hours, right? There are health benefits to fasting, but I also do it for other things. The reason why I fast is because if I'm able to tell my body, you're not gonna eat in a certain hour, I can also tell my body, we're gonna go for that. We're gonna go for that degree. We're gonna go for that job promotion. We're gonna go for that goal that we had in mind, right? I run for a lot of reasons. Health benefits, cardio, the job, the line of work that I'm in, I'm required to be physically fit. not only do I run for my health benefits, I also run for mental strength. I go through trial by fire in order to gain mental strength. The reason why is because if I can tell my body today, you're going to wake up at 7 a.m., 6:30 a.m., sometimes, you can ask my wife, I'd wake up at 4:30 a.m. in December, in the middle of the, sometimes January, in the middle of winter. You're going to run 12 miles today at 4:30 in the morning. If I can tell my body, you're going to do that, and my mind and body must comply, that means I am able to have the strength to tell my body I'm not going to fall into that temptation. I'm not going to stay stagnant in a specific job position. I am going to go for that promotion. I am going to go back to school. I am going to go for that ministry. I am going to go for that girl or boy that you like, or you wanna take on a date. You know what I mean? Like, those are certain things that you have to really, we all have to focus on, right? And when you apply self-control to your life, you start to see fruits, right? I didn't think I was going to be a marathon runner, right? All I wanted was mental strength to be able to tell my body, we're going to do this and we're not going to do that. Because in my life, there came a time where I plateaued. I had a job, I had an apartment, I had a car, I had things going for myself, and I felt like I felt comfortable. And we're not supposed to feel comfortable. We're not. If you feel comfortable where you're at, and you feel like there's a level that you can obtain, but you put mental barriers in front of yourself so that you don't obtain it, then in reality, you're doing a disservice to yourself, to your family, to the people who love you. We need to strive for success. As children of God, we need to be the best that we can be. And there's no such thing as a person who is perfect and says, yo, I'm the best at everything, I'm good to go. We always need improvement. And the way we get to improvement is that we need to have the mental fortitude in order to attack it head on and gain that improvement, right? So when you start using or applying self-control into your life, you start seeing fruits. Me being in shape, me having a healthier marriage, me being able to financially save more because I have self-control and I'm not gonna go out and buy this and buy that and I need this, I need that. When you have self-control, you start seeing fruits within yourself. You got money in the bank now. Money, once you kick a habit, you kick an addiction. A lot of people spend so much money on addiction. You can kick that addiction with mental strength. You was paying a lot of money for that addiction. Now you don't have that addiction anymore. Now you can save that money. Now you can be able to put yourself in a better position. You want to stay in shape, or you want to get in shape. You didn't have the mental strength to do it before. Now you do. Now you're in shape. Now you can do certain things that you couldn't have done, right? For example, another example is, a promotion, going back to school. I commend a lot of the mothers, a lot of the single mothers who, even in the face of circumstances and uncertainty, they decide, I'm going to go back to school and finish what I got to do for my family, right? There are so many people in this life that they put so many mental barriers in front of what they do, in front of themselves. They blind themselves from, like, let's say, for example, this little much of water. I want to drink that much of water, but I can't because of, certain type of excuse that we put in our minds, right? We put a wall in front of ourselves. And 10, 15 years down the line, you'll look back and say, man, you know what? I could have probably done it. You know what I mean? Single mothers or mothers that go out there, There are a lot of mothers that go, you know what, I can't go back to school because I have a kid and I just can't do it. And there are other mothers that go, you know what, yes, I have this or that, but you know what, I'm going to try to handle it on my own. My mother, she had 3 children. My dad worked. My mother found a way to go back to school, do early class, wake up super early, wake up early, go to her class, pick up the kids from, pick us up from school, go home, cook us dinner, wash our clothes, study all the way to the end of the night, get 4 hours of sleep, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. We aren't able to decide what circumstances we're in. We're not able to decide what factors come into play in our life. We're not able to decide whether we're tall, short, white, black, blue, orange, ugly, pretty, handsome, fat, skinny. What we're able to decide, though, is the state of mind that we're in into that circumstance. And I'm going to conclude with this. There are 2 people, right? 2 people facing the same issue. They're both, let me make an example. They're both short and they're both very chubby, right? And there's a wall that they need to climb over, right? Now, they both have the same circumstances. They both have the same factors that might limit them to, or not limit them, but make it very difficult to overcome this challenge. But one of them sees it and says, hey, you know what? I'm not going to waste my time with this. I'm just going to stay right here. It is what it is. I can't go over the wall. Right? Another one says, man, you know what? This wall is difficult. This wall is not something that I might overcome overnight, but I'm not going to let it define me. So one person spends months and gets comfortable, right? Builds a home next to the wall, farms next to the wall, makes a life about himself next to the wall, but never overcomes it. The other spends months trying to improve himself, trying to do whatever he can in order to get over that wall. What happens? 6 months later, that person is still in square one. Comfortable, sure, but back at square one. Didn't even move a muscle. The other person now is at a better state, and he ends up climbing over the wall. Now, what happens when the other person climbs over the wall? What he finds over there is riches, gold, houses, mansions, cars, you name it. While the other person is living in a shack and says, this is it for me. 20 years go down the line. The guy who climbed the wall now has a kingdom. The guy still faces the wall. Finally, the wall starts to crumble a little bit, and he can see through the wall and see what was waiting for him outside the wall. And he sees the other person that now has a kingdom. And he tells himself, man, if he did it, I could have done it too. I wasted all this time, and unfortunately, now it is too late. We have the opportunity now to do whatever it takes to improve whatever we can improve. Whether you're 15 years old, 20, 25, 30, 40, 50, 60 years old, there's always a thing, and we know it. I don't have to make examples. Look deep inside within yourself. You know that there is something that if you accomplish it, you'll be at a different level. But you put a mental barrier in front of yourself. I don't have to tell you what it is. You can think within yourself. You close your eyes for 5 seconds. Think within yourself and say, what is it that is causing me to stay here? We don't decide whether we're rich or poor, whether we're born rich or poor, whether we're in a 1-bedroom apartment, whether we're in a mansion. What we do decide is what state of mind we're in and how much self-control and determination we have and mental strength in order to overcome our problems and get to that next level. That is my little message for today. I want to thank Rayleigh and the Evidence of Grace Church for giving me this opportunity. I hope that what I said really benefits you and really makes you think, what mental barriers are there in my life that I've placed upon myself? What root causes do I have in my life? What problems do I have in my life that I am not attacking in the root, but I am just trying to mask over and trying to put makeup on? Think about this. Hopefully it benefits you in your life. You can sit down, observe, think within yourself, meditate, and see what is it that you're lacking, and make that change. Make that change in your life. It is never too late. You can always make that change. And I'm not saying you're gonna go from 200 pounds to 135 pounds in a week, in a month, in 5 months, in 10 months. It might take months, years. But like I told my wife once, taking one step every day is better than taking no steps. It's a stepping stone, stairs. You take one step at a time. It is very physically hard to jump up stairs. It's easy to jump downstairs, you know what I mean? Break your leg, whatever. To jump upstairs is very difficult. A lot of people in middle school tried it. I don't recommend it. Take one step at a time. Make minor improvements every day. Tell yourself, I'm not eating that today. Tell yourself, I'm gonna go back to school no matter what. Find a way. Some people are too dependent on sleeping every day. Some people are too dependent on focusing on being comfortable. I need my 8 hours of sleep. I need my food. I need my this. I need my that. You don't need it. What are you willing to sacrifice in order to gain a higher level in your life? Think about that. Thank you, everyone.